What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back for another video. I'm sorry to keep you guys hanging for so long. I know I haven't posted over here in a minute, but if you guys follow me on social media, you would know that for the last 30 days, I've been in Africa. That's right, I've been in Africa for a whole month, and that trip was everything. I was born in Africa, but I had to leave my country at a very young age. So being able to go back and see the place where I was born and see my family members that I never met before and just touching down in the continent of Africa just meant everything to me. And matter of fact, let's do this. What do you guys think? Can I pull it off? Yeah. So while I was over there in Africa having an experience of a lifetime, I couldn't help but think that this whole entrepreneurship journey, everybody just trying to work for some money, you know, at the end of the day, what it's all about is being able to buy opportunities and freedom and having the option to do the things we actually want to do. Entrepreneurship is about buying freedom, buying time. Keep that in mind. You guys are hustling and growing your fleet of Turo cars. The money is not to buy things. It's to buy you more time to be able to do what you actually want to do with the people you actually want to do it with. So let's talk about this Turo market. What's been going on in the last 30, 45 days while I've been gone? While I'm over there, I'm noticing that cars that might usually sit around for a couple days during the weekdays are now being booked. And weekends, obviously, you know, I do great on the weekends, but now I'm having extra customers call me wondering why they can't find my cars, wondering if I have any cars available. And during the weekdays, same thing going on, cars being booked, utilization going up. So where's all this coming from? What's going on? Why is everybody out of rental cars? Why is everybody suddenly looking for rental cars? So that's what I'm here to talk about today. Well, you guys remember last year when all the major car companies like Enterprise, Hertz was basically clearing out their inventory because they had basically no space to keep all these cars. People weren't traveling, everybody was locked down, and they were basically on the brink of bankruptcy. So what did they start doing? They started pumping all these cars through the auctions and selling them off either to dealers or private sellers. They was just trying to get rid of cars, right? And I vividly remember that because the auction was getting flooded with these rental cars, and I thought I was gonna be able to catch some deals here and there, but I didn't buy one single rental car because those things were going way above MMR. I don't know who was buying these cars and who they were selling them to, but I didn't want no parts of it. And actually, since that time, the auction prices have even been inflated. I haven't been able to buy a decent car under MMR in over a year, unless I'm purchasing and doing some kind of repairs or putting it back together. But the car market has just been out of whack. So the major rental car companies just started dumping inventory out just to be able to save some kind of money. And this is an important lesson that we can learn as hosts and rental car companies, is not to be over leveraged. A lot of these companies were over leveraged, so when there's no cash flow coming in, then they're in serious trouble. So now all of a sudden that people are starting to get a little more comfortable with COVID and everybody's been tired of being in the house. People are trying to get out. They're trying to go vacation. They're trying to visit family members. So, you know, rental cars go hand in hand with traveling. When you got to get around or you're in a new area, you're going to need something to get around in. You're not going to be one to take Uber or Lyft everywhere you go, because now even to get an Uber, those drivers are kind of scarce. I've waited for 45 minutes to an hour for an Uber, and that was before I left. So I would be pissed if I went on vacation having to wait for an Uber or a Lyft and just to have them cancel last minute with my family. So it's definitely annoying. People are gonna have to rent cars, and that's even myself included. When I was in Africa last month, I rented a 2003 Nissan Xterra. Now it's not nothing amazing, but for the area that I was in, the kind of terrain, you need something like a 4-wheel drive, or you know, you don't want to be driving around the car. So I was specifically looking for SUV or something up a little higher. But I ended up paying $40 a day for a 2003 Nissan Xterra. Now you might be thinking $40 is not a lot of money, but when you're in an area where the average rent is $100 or $150 a month and you're spending $40 a day, that is a ton of money. But I didn't have a choice. I was in a different environment. I had to get around. I had to run errands. You know, over there's no Uber or Lyft, so you pretty much just catch transportation if you're on a busy street. But if you're not on a busy street, then you gotta like jump on the back of a bike to make it down to that street, and it's a lot. It definitely helps if you have your own transportation. So I finally was in the place of the customer this time, right? Because I'm a host on Turo. I've been hosting for 3 years, but this time I was in the position of the customer where I needed a car, and even though the price was a little bit inflated, I still had to pay it because I still had to get around. So this just taught me an important lesson from a different perspective. So now that these major rental companies haven't got their inventory back, it's a huge demand for rental cars and the supply is just not there. So they're inflating the prices, making it higher. And this is a perfect opportunity for small rental car companies and Turo hosts like ourselves to get in and fill a little bit of demand and even raise our prices a little bit while doing that. Now, the people who are benefiting the most, obviously the people who are in vacation areas, because now everybody is traveling, and which for me, a lot of my customers are locals. I do get airport traffic here and there, so I have been able to raise my prices a little bit, and my utilization is still pretty high, so I can't complain about that. And another reason a lot of people even renting right now also is because car prices are through the roof. Now, I've been selling cars for 6 years, going on 7 years, and I've never quite seen a market like this. Obviously, we've never experienced a COVID before, but car prices are just ridiculously high right now. So usually people will be able to take their tax income money and go purchase a decent car. But nowadays, like, I don't even sell cars that's less than $4,000, and that's the low end. But I have a bunch of people calling me, asking me if I got $2,000 cars, $2,500 cars, and I just don't do that kind of business. But these people that are buying these kind of cars, I mean, they're gonna break down in a few months and they're gonna be without a car. They're gonna be back in the same position, and they're still gonna have to get around. They're still gonna have to run errands, take their kids to school, go to work. So they're gonna be turning to rental cars also. And another reason that the rental market is on fire is banks are cracking down on subprime loans. We've seen this happen with the housing market. During the housing market crash, the banks completely changed their strategy on approving homeowners for purchasing houses. So now the car market is going through the same kind of thing. Those banks who would typically approve people with very low credit score and very low down payments, now these banks are getting out of the business. They're not approving these loans. Maybe the default rate is too high, or because the economy is basically inflated with, you know, all the money being printed for the stimulus, and a lot of those things are playing effect into what's going on. But banks are not giving these people loans anymore. So this creates another lucrative opportunity for car dealerships who do in-house financing or leasing programs. You know, you can also fill in that demand. That's something I'm looking into for my business. I've done some buyer payer in the past with very few select customers, but now that banks aren't doing these subprime loans, it's kind of caught my interest. So another great opportunity to step in if you're a car dealer and, you know, you got a shop or you do some kind of repairs, or you can get cars for a lower price. You know, there's a good opportunity to be able to make some money on flipping cars, because people are definitely out there looking for cars. Me, myself, I'm kind of mad that I sold some of my cars earlier this year, because now I'm actually looking for rental cars. I'm looking for Turo cars, and these car prices are very high. And people often see some of my insurance videos where my cars got crashed and I'm telling them how much my payout is, and they just automatically assume that I want all my cars to get crashed. Well, that's not the case. A lot of these cars, you know, it's being at the right place, the right time, for the right price. That's how I'm able to secure these cars. So when I finally get them on my fleet and get them ready to go, no, I don't want them to get crashed right away. I want to rent these cars, get some cash flow, and take that money and purchase more inventory. So this market is good because the demand is high on the rental side, but it's bad because the car prices are also high. So a lot of us Turo hosts are trying to pay higher prices for these cars, which is gonna take away from your bottom line, and it's gonna be a longer time to pay this car off. Now, a lot of you guys are gonna be looking at this market like, man, this market is crazy. My cars are maxed out. They're all getting booked. Let me go get some money and put as many cars on the platform as I can. It doesn't matter what I'm paying for these cars. I know I'm gonna make money. So remember what happened to Hertz and Enterprise. They were over leveraged. They had car payments and all these other expenses, but they weren't making money. So at that time, they were scrambling everywhere. How I run my business, all my cars right now are purchased with cash, so they could really sit up without being booked, and I would just have to pay my insurance. Be careful not to over leverage yourself and to think that this market is gonna be around forever. You're looking at cars and you're saying, hey, this car goes for $100 a day, so it makes sense for me to pay this price. But what if the market goes back down to regular and that car all of a sudden isn't getting booked for $100 a day? What if that car is only getting booked for $60 or $70 a day? Will your numbers still make sense? So this is the approach you want to take when you're purchasing these vehicles, and you want to carefully calculate your numbers from the start, because this game is a game of beating depreciation and trying to maintain your asset so that not only can you recoup your money, but you can be in profitable territory sometime in the near future. So make sure when you're buying your cars, you keep that in mind. So I'm going to show you guys an example of a vehicle that I just purchased that I'm about to put on the platform. I'm going to give you a quick example about how I run my numbers, the kind of return I'm looking for, the expectation I have from these cars, and it's all calculated before I even purchase the vehicle. Let me give you an example of what I'm doing right here.
Check. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a
So that was just a brief example of how I calculate my numbers before I purchase a vehicle to put on the platform. You can see that these numbers are all very realistic. I'm not saying that I want this car to make $1,000 a month. I'm sure it will have months where it will hit $1,000, but I'm not banking on it making $1,000 every single month. And if that doesn't happen, then all of a sudden I'm in trouble or my business is at risk. So I hope you guys got some value out of that, me sharing that with you. Hope you guys are getting value out of these videos. A lot of time I want to post about other things like my trip to Africa and what I'm doing over here, but I'm just not sure if you guys are interested in content like that. So if you are, let me know down below. And also, I know a lot of you guys been hitting me up on Instagram and sending me emails about mentorship programs or courses or one-on-one consultations, and I just haven't had a chance to set any of those things up yet, but I am working on that stuff. I know I provide a lot of value in these YouTube videos, but some of you guys are looking for something more intensive or hands-on, or you want personal access to me, so I am working on those things. If you are interested in those things, send me a DM on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, shoot me a message on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, go ahead and send me an email. Just make sure you put it somewhere in the subject, like coaching or course or something of that nature, just so I can know what it's about. And also, guys, I appreciate you joining me again for another video, and I will catch you guys the next time around. If you already have not subscribed to the channel, come on, what are you doing? Hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell so YouTube will notify you every time I post a new video. Go ahead and just give this video a thumbs up. It helps me keep making more content. It helps motivate me. Go ahead and leave some comments down there. Let's interact with each other. And I look forward to see you guys in the next video. Everybody be safe.
check. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a